Hey guys, I'm John Barklow, and today I want to talk to you about cutting weight, not capability. Now, you don't want to sacrifice your safety or the success of a trip for a few ounces. Hunting, unlike most other outdoor pursuits, we actually hope to come out heavier than when we went in. Now, the evolution of an outdoorsman basically starts with you go really heavy because you have a little experience, and so you bring a lot of gear to kind of bridge that gap. And then you get to a point where you have more experience, so you're cutting everything to the bare bones and not giving yourself any margin of safety. And so if you live through that kind of difficult situation, then you end up kind of somewhere in the middle, and I like to call that reality. Now, that reality is all going to be a little bit different for us. But over time, I've learned how to cut some weight out of my pack, out of my kit, be it when you're packing up horses or when you're loading a bush plane. You all have to worry about the amount of weight that we're carrying into the field. And so the first thing is that we want to establish what is mandatory. We are not going to leave certain things behind. Now, I would say for me, that's my 8-piece clothing system, because rain gear and the puffy jacket are part of my survival system. And then my possibles pouch that has my medical kit. So these things are kind of non-negotiable for me. And then from there, I want to make sure that the things I'm carrying have more than one use. So as an example, if I bring my trekking pole can also be used to anchor my shelter, and so I can leave tent stakes behind. So that's just one example. The other thing is we want to limit redundancy. So a lot of the gear today is so good, it's so durable, that we don't need to bring extras that we did, say, even 10 years ago. So as an example, clothing. I never bring any extra clothes. I don't bring an extra pair of pants. I don't bring an extra puffy jacket. I don't bring an extra base layer. You don't have to do those things. If you want to do those things, that's on you. The things that I do bring extras of is I bring extra socks because I want to keep my feet healthy and I want to limit hot spots and blisters. And I also bring extra liner gloves, especially in cold weather, because I need to keep my hands functioning. Those hands allow me to use a Bic lighter, to light my stove, to light a fire, to work in inReach, to communicate for help, all those kinds of things. The other thing I want to do is minimize stuff sacks in my backpack. So we're all going to pack a little different, but if we limit the stuff sacks, I'm not saying take them out completely, you're going to find that you're going to reduce weight in your pack just because of your organizational method. So as an example, if every stuff sack is 3 ounces and you have 4 stuff sacks just to organize all your kit, that's actually going to be pushing 12 ounces, right? You throw another one in, you have a pound of stuff sack in your backpack just to organize your gear. And so I just say go through there, refine, figure it out. The best way to do these things is through experience. Experience is going to be the best teacher, and that's going to help you kind of figure out your own system. So I talked about shelter anchors. A lot of times, tent stakes may not be the best choice of anchor for your shelter. So if you're going into an area with vegetation like trees and bushes or a rocky area, those may be better anchors than trying to pound in a tent stake. And that's going to take ounces and ounces and ounces out of your pack. That's not going to cut down on your capability. The other thing I like to do is field strip all my meals as much as possible and remove commercial packaging. So not only is this going to make things a little quieter for me if I'm, getting close on an animal during a stalk and I really need to eat something in the middle of the day, but it's also going to cut down on a lot of trash, and it's also going to cut down on a lot of bulk and weight in your pack. So these are things that you can do, that you have control over, that are going to limit the amount of gear you're carrying in the field. Another thing is footwear. So if you just remove a few ounces out of your footwear on each foot, it's going to provide a lot better performance. Imagine all those miles and hundreds and thousands of feet that you are climbing during the course of a trip. If you just remove a few ounces, you're gonna get that much better performance over the long haul. So the last thing you can do is, yeah, you can cut your toothbrush in half. It's not really gonna save much. It's definitely gonna make you feel like a cool guy. Bring a toothbrush though. Don't leave that behind because that's good for your hygiene. But at the end of the day, don't cut ounces that are gonna cut capability. I've been literally in hangars before where the float planes come in the land, I'm weighing my bags, I'm under a weight restriction, and I've been told, hey, you've got to cut 12 pounds out of your kit and the float plane is going to be here in 15 minutes, figure it out. And I had to scramble, going through in my mind, in my gear list, what did I bring? What do I not need? And that's where I've kind of come up with this. I don't want to necessarily leave food behind. I can, but I want to make sure that I have what I need to stay in the field, to stay effective, to stay safe. And in that particular case, what I ended up leaving behind was a pair of really heavy hip boots. I had a pair of knee-high rubber boots and a pair of rain pants that I used in its place. And it saved me 4 pounds out of the 12 that I had to cut. So these are things to consider, guys, when you're packing. Cut weight, not capability.